Kenos is one of the best known Geometry Dash levels both in and outside of the community, thanks to its difficulty, style, and the verifier Npesta and his funny reaction.
This is a good meme. This is from Npesta.
If you asked any old gamer, any memer, any typical YouTube viewer, they'll tell you that this is a level to be sped run in the Impossible game.
Who is a speedrunner? Why? He's speedrunning this square game. What is this game called? It's called an Impossible game, isn't it?
They might be able to tell you that much about this Geometry Dash level, but they can't tell you the whole story. This video will highlight the creation, verification, and publication of the level. So in the second episode of Geometry Dash history, we'll take a look at how this level came to be one of the best looking hell-themed demons and one of the hardest in the game. But in order to start this story, we gotta go back.
Man, what you gonna do now? What we gonna do right here is go back. How far you going back? Way back.
We're going back to when the original level was posted, June 9th, 2015. Npesta was a hacker that came up in 2015 that had a lot of avid supporters, and most people thought that he was a legitimate player. His association with Sakupen Hell is very important, since he made the level in the first place. But this video won't talk about him very much, since he doesn't have too much to do with Kenos. All you need to know is he was a talented creator and a talented deceiver, and he cheated his way to the top of the Geometry Dash food chain. Sakupen Hell was made as a last-ditch effort from Npesta to dethrone Cataclysm and Ice Carbon Diablo X, which at the time were the hardest levels in the game. On June 9th, 2015, it was verified by Npesta, but he would openly use a speed hack on the level and address Riot and Cyclic to beat it. He would express that he wanted it rated, but it wouldn't be. For good reason, I think. This wouldn't get much of a reaction from big players, but Sakupen Hell would be really popular in the community, and it would be one of the hardest levels that actually seemed possible back then. People were really bad at the wave at this time, so when they saw this gameplay, they didn't really know how to react. Not too much progress was made on this level back then. You need to have some serious technical ability in this game in order to beat Sakupen Hell. Being able to do precise timings and get through tight places. These bushes being extremely close together is what makes this level so hard. No memory, no rapid fire clicks, just good old muscle memory and precision. Sakupen Hell would be picked up by one of the rising stars of the game, Trusta, aka Trusta, but on August 14th, 2016, he came through with the official verification.
I beat it.
This version would get rated on his account and is still up on the servers today. Trusta and the community didn't know it at the time, but he had just become the best player in Geometry Dash. By that, I mean he had the best achievement. Bloodbath was seen as the harder level at the time, because of its use of the ship and the length overall. But as people got better at the ship game mode in the next few years, Sakupen Hell would be seen as harder and harder than Bloodbath. Even today, it's far above Bloodbath according to top players and the Demons list. This Extreme Demon Wave gameplay would carry into the sequel. The creation of the level we're going to be talking about dates back to right after the verification of Sakupen Hell. Sakupen Hell was released in 2.0 and was completely styled with decoration and gameplay from 1.9. Needless to say, the decoration was a bit outdated, and the creators Bianox and ChiefFlurry would seek to rebuild the level. And what seems to be the first preview of it went up on December 6th, 2016. This shows a really rough version of Bianox's part, complete with messy decoration, bad mixing, and repulsive colors. Don't worry, this part does get better eventually. What seemed like a humble project would soon turn into one of the most anticipated extreme demons that the game would produce, complete with parts from prominent creators, extra decorators, detail decorators, and a few verifier switches. The level would be managed mainly by ChiefFlurry with help from Bianox and some others. They would manage to get quite a few big creators on the project. Pennutoh, Spectrix, Zimnoir12, and Splash. Splash would even make videos of his part bright and brighter. Truly the peak of Geometry Dash content. One of the more interesting things about the creation of this level is they had a creating contest to see whose part would be put into the final level. Much like Molten Gear. This is an interesting way to give smaller creators parts in bigger projects, and I think more mega collabs should do this today. The winner of this competition was an unknown creator by the name of Slim Jim. A tasty snack for all of you disgusting meat eaters out there, but also a cool creator with an original style, who would build parts for other high profile levels in the future like Edge of the Blade, WoW, and even Belloc. The part that he made for Kenos would be directly put into the level, and it would stay there until the level's completion. As with any mega collab, there's bound to be a few people that drop out, and when you have those people, the time that they had to their part goes to waste. This usually causes mega collabs to take a really long time, and it's clear that it wasn't easy for ChiefFlurry to find great decorators for this level. The creating process took quite a long time, but the level would hopefully be worth it when it came out. The level was pretty much fully done in April of 2018. Kenos was originally supposed to be verified by Trusta. He was the obvious pick since he verified the original level, Sakupen Hell. He would have been the perfect verifier for this level, and if he followed through with it, it could have been one of the best events for Geometry Dash at the time, since for the most part 2018 was pretty uninteresting for the game. But at this point, Trusta had already hit the peak of his dashing career, and he was on a pretty steep decline ever since mid-2017. Kenos certainly wasn't out of Trusta's skill range. It wasn't that much harder than Yatagarasu, and the level seemed right up his alley. It's the middle of 2018. Trusta demonstrated that he wasn't exactly a good verifier, and wasn't all that reliable when it came to beating levels. He frequently got good progress on extreme demons, and then later gave up on them. A trend that he's even continued to this day. Anyways, the team didn't take too long to find a suitable replacement. There were a lot of people at the top of the game at this point, but the team decided to go with Crazen. On May 29th, he would upload his one and only Kenos progress video. Crazen wasn't showing too much in the way of progress, so for the time the team had a different plan on what to do with the verification. Combined was a rising player that had proven to be a really reliable verifier through projects like Artificial Ascent and its sequel, Digital Descent. Combined had also beaten many top demons like Sonic Wave, Yatagarasu, Hyperparacosm, Artificial Dream, Acropolis, Deception Dive. Basically, Combined was really good. He would upload a video on June 10th, and in the description he said that Bianox allowed him and Crazen to race the verification. He was really adamant about making progress at the time, and he would start the verification with 3 runs of 71% that were uploaded on August 1st. This progress was pretty promising at first. 71% in less than 2 months on the hardest demon in the game? Not bad. He probably even got these runs before then. He only uploaded these progress runs because people asked him, so he was making a lot of progress silently, as players tended to do back then. Later the same day, he would upload a run of 90%. This made the community really hopeful, and at this point, people were sure that he wasn't too far off from the verification. On October 31st, Combined would die at 97%, which, just like Serv's 96% death on the race to beat Bloodbath, was really demotivating. All of a sudden, one of the best extreme demon grinders in the game went completely silent, until he came back to Kenos in February of the next year, and would die at the same exact place. This video was titled, Why I Stopped Playing Kenos, and it was a public statement saying that he was completely done with the level. He would drop the verification. Guess it's time to find a new verifier, and that brings us to the meme man himself.
Please don't get mad at me for this. I've passed over
Chinos
to somebody else. And this dude is Npesta. Cool guy. He beat Deimos. Hard level.
Npesta was a player that had a pretty long history with the game, though most of it is pretty uninteresting. Things start to pick up when he would get some verification projects starting on July 14th, 2018. When he wasn't officially given Deimos, but he was one of the only people going after it. Deimos is a level that actually has a lot in common with Kenos. Both are remakes of classic extreme demons, and both look really good. I do think Deimos has some more impressive decoration though. Npesta also verified WoW by Trusta in early 2019, further demonstrating not only his skill, but his persistence. Npesta picked up Kenos shortly after and immediately went going on it. He had a lot of progress videos for Kenos, but he would start with a run of 64 to 100, and then he got 53% halfway through, and then 31 to 100, 71%, and then 83%. Then he would take a little hiatus as far as the uploads go. He always streamed his attempts at beating Kenos live on YouTube, so it was pretty clear when he was playing Kenos and when he wasn't, which isn't the transparency that people get with most GD players and creators. These live streams are all compiled in a video on his channel, and it's pretty interesting to see the progression along with some funny and random moments. After getting to 88% on stream, Npesta would buff the level in order to make it top 3 difficulty, after getting a 240Hz monitor. I shouldn't have to explain what Hertz does with computers in Geometry Dash if you play the game, but just in case you don't, I did a video on the 144Hz revolution and the race to beat Bloodbath a while back. But to sum it up, it makes the game way easier. Npesta's buffs to Kenos were in order to compensate for this, and in order to make it way harder. Npesta was also pretty stressed out because he wanted to get the level out before 2.2, and back when he was trying to verify the level, 2.2 seemed like it was coming close. Obviously, looking back with hindsight, it wasn't, but back then it was the popular opinion, and had a lot of facts supporting it. On November 17th, he got 17 to 100 on his buff version of Kenos. Npesta would keep streaming his attempts at Kenos over the next few weeks, and then, just a little bit later, on December 14th, he came through with the verification. You guys sick of seeing this video? I'm not. Okay, maybe I am a little. And that's the story of Kenos. From the conception to the creation and verification. This level was always on people's minds, and if nothing else, was at least interesting. And at the end of the day, at least we all got a good meme out of it. The level is up on the servers and is placed at number 3 on PointerCrate's official demons list. It's been beaten by a few others and has attracted over 600,000 views on YouTube. It's one of the most celebrated extreme demons in recent memory, and it's one of the best hell-themed demons in a while. And that's about all I have to say about it. Actually, Npesta would do one more thing related to Kenos. Since he never beat Sakupen Hell before, he went back and beat it on livestream. I'll let him handle the outro.
Yeah, we did it! Sakupen Hell! Done. Bam. That wasn't that bad. We passed it on the 6th try.
Good job, man.
We could have done much worse than that, you know what I mean? Yeah, no more. I'm done looking at Sakupen Hell. Any variant of Sakupen Hell is done. We're not looking at that anymore. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bazinga.